Bro, why do all these weird ass have these fucking circular ass framed glasses, bruh? It's always them. The worst serial killers in history, bruh. Let's see the worst way that niggas kill people.
Alright, this first killer killed 4 people in cold blood, then sliced his own genitals and tongue just so it would look like a snake's head. Oh, and he also carved
Craziest 10 seconds of my life that I'm never gonna get back, bruh. What the
666 into his own head. Yep, this is Nico Jenkins, who was born on
Nico
September 16,
Jenkins! There's no way had the last name Jenkins, bruh.
1986 in Colorado. His upbringing was, let's just say, it wasn't the greatest. Almost his entire family were convicted felons.
Damn.
His mother was convicted of various street pharmacy charges, robberies, and was in jail throughout his whole home life.
W mom, I guess.
He wasn't any better. I mean, he was convicted of assault and robbery. And what was his sissy doing? She was convicted of the same stuff during their entire childhood.
So who the fuck raised this nigga?
As well. What do all the boxes say? They weren't the sharpest tools in the shed. Anyways, his family abused him verbally, physically, and it even got reported that Nico was assaulted in the, you know, sexual kind of way. But
What
get
the-
this. Own damn cousin. I kind of like, I seriously can't help but feel bad for this guy.
Nah.
When he was 7 years old, he was put into the foster system, and doctors claimed that he was, how do I say this in the PG-13 way? He was considering unaliving himself. And he was bipolar
At that early of an age?
at the age of only 8 years old, which it's quite
What,
hard for a
bro?
kid that age to fake it. Anyways, many psychologists later diagnosed him with schizophrenia. He was constantly talking about voices in his head and, you know, things that people were saying in his head, including, and I'm not even kidding about this, the Egyptian god Apophis. Yeah, he thinks an Egyptian
This nigga thought a fucking snake was talking to him? Is that why he cut his shit off and tried to make it look like a snake, bruh? Ain't no way.
Egyptian god was talking in his head. Anyways, at age 7, he had been expelled from school for bringing a handgun to class. And by the age of just 13 years old, he had already built up a substance problem. Yeah, 13 years old.
Yo, how did he even have access to that shit? And secondly, goddamn, nigga, you ain't even trying to be happy before you fucking started taking drugs?
This list obviously just keeps going, so to sum it up, he was always in trouble.
He was a bad
Now,
kid,
let's
bro.
get into his killing streak. That ended him in being in death row. When he was 17, he was convicted of 2 armed carjackings and was later sentenced to 21 years of prison time. However, this is where the story gets a little bit tricky. Trust me,
happened?
this will all make sense into understanding how 4 innocent people were brutally murdered. Alright, the judge in this case, and his infinite wisdom, decided to run the charges concurrently and not consecutively. Okay, you're probably wondering, what does that even mean? Basically, if you get charged with multiple counts of a crime, it's common for the judge to say 4 sentences of however many years. But depending on the crime, like if it's something non-violent, they will run them at the same time so you don't spend your whole life in, behind bars. Now, this is good for people who were just being punished for a simple mistake. However, this was a very, very bad idea for someone like Nico, which you're later gonna understand. See, if they did it consecutively, he would have remained in prison for over twice as long, which would have saved the lives of innocent people, and you'll understand all of that in about 2 minutes. Oh, before I forget, in 2009, Nico Jenkins and his sister were alive.
Ah, damn, nigga.
2 minutes.
Yeah, whatever the fuck he did, he fucking did it. I don't care, bro. This is the fucking face of a murderer.
Jenkins and his sister were allowed to temporarily leave the prison with a corrections officer to accompany them at their own grandmother's funeral, which
What the
sounds all
fuck?
nice and all. But during the funeral, a guard uncuffed one of Jenkins' hands.
Oh, you
so that he could
dumbass.
use the gentleman's room. Then this man and his sister turned around and started attacking the guards. Yeah, then somehow Nico was released from prison in July of 2013. Here's the kicker: having only served about half of the time that he should have. Okay, but his time in prison wasn't a normal experience. He was abused horribly there. Wait, let's rewind a bit. Nico was put into solitary confinement for his behavioral problems, and he was denied
Oh, that nigga, he was schizophrenic already? So I know when he was in solitary confinement, his mind was going everywhere, bro.
mental health care, and put in a cell alone for nearly 10 whole years.
Damn.
Can you just like imagine that? Being in a room the size of a king mattress with no human contact for 10 whole
I ain't gonna lie.
years.
No
Okay,
wonder
so
why
now
that
in
nigga was
2013,
crazy.
you're now about to stick a severely mentally deranged person who was locked up for the last 10 years back into public like, nothing happened.
Yeah.
And you can probably guess what happened. At 5:01 a.m. on August 11th, 2013, just a few weeks after Nico's release from prison, 2 dead bodies were found in a white pickup truck in Omaha, Nebraska, with their heads blown off with a damn shotgun.
Holy
The cops had no other
shit.
leads other than deer slug casings found at the crime scene. The 2 victims were later identified as Juan and Jorge. Alright, here's what's interesting. It was said that they were lured in with the promise of sexual gratification. You know, that night. And it wasn't our man Nico.
Damn, that nigga said that, yo, I'm about to get these niggas to try to fake my sister and then I'm gonna blow their heads off with a shotgun. That's a crazy setup scheme.
Nico luring him in. It was his sister. I guess
Like, that's crazy, bro. Let's get robbed.
you could say they got blown away. Nope. Let me stop trying to be edgy. That's not my box. Anyways, it didn't stop there because just a goddamn week later, on August 19th around 7 a.m., the body of 22-year-old Curtis Bradford was found. Where, you may ask? Outside a garage with 2 bullet wounds in his damn head.
God
Get this, they
damn,
found
bro.
deer slug casings at the scene too. Now, this is crazy because during the short time Nico wasn't in solitary confinement, Curtis was actually a prison inmate that was living with him in the jail cell.
Yeah, so this was the nigga that was fucking abusing him, bro. So that nigga was just getting his get back. Can you really be mad at him?
Hold on, guys, it gets more juicy than that. The 2 met up with each other at a party the night before and posted this picture together on Facebook. They partied the night away, and the next day, Nico killed him for no reason at all.
That's kind of crazy.
I guess that's one way to solve a hangover. Anyways, a few days later, on August 21st, 2013, at around 2 a.m., a woman named Andrea Kruger was getting off her shift at a bar called, wait, let me make sure I'm reading this right, the Deja Vu Lounge. Oh, and Deja Vu it was. When she was driving home,
Boom, nigga. Yo, please don't tell me he did it on the road. With the way that this is being drawn right now, nigga has the shotgun aimed at her, driving 60 on the highway.
there was a strange vehicle that stopped her in the middle of the damn road. The killer got out of his vehicle, walked to Andrea's driver's side door, opened it, then dragged her ass out.
What
did
the
he do to her?
fuck?
Well, she was found with multiple 12-gauge shotgun blasts to her face. Not only that, neck and shoulder too. And if you're wondering where her car went, it was completely gone. The cops arrived on the scene and the gunshot wounds matched the pickup truck murders. And because of that, now the cops knew that they had a serial killer on a spree.
That's fucking
Spree it
crazy,
was.
bro.
4 murders, 10 days? Like, hello? So, how was he caught? On
Like, even the fact of killing multiple people is just crazy, bro. One is insane. But then you're going around and killing multiple? Oh, yeah, you're a lunatic.
August 29th, 2013, a woman called 911 saying that Nico Jenkins threatened to kill her and her entire family.
What the fuck was this bitch? Fucking Doodle Bob?
Yeah, because of that, Jenkins was arrested on terroristic threats. But now you're probably wondering, how did they know that he murdered the 4 people? Well, when the cops looked at the security footage of the
Yo, she looks nothing like how he drew her, bro. What the fuck?
apartment, they noticed he was carrying a bag into the apartment, which is when they obtained a search warrant for the bag. Then found the gun that used the exact same shell casings from the Kruger
Damn, that little lad pew pew was really blowing niggas' brains out. That's
murder
crazy.
scene. Oh, and his DNA was plastered all over the shell casings. But yeah, those 10 years in isolation probably didn't make him a rocket scientist or anything. Once the gun was
Hell
found,
no.
he was interviewed for 8 straight hours, where he wasted no second throwing his own sister under the bus.
Well, y'all don't even understand, man. I don't understand how hard this is for me right now, because I'm portraying my family. Do you understand it? This is not just me. I understand one family's getting closure, you know, but I'm literally betraying my family and my bloodline.
After hours and hours
Yo!
of Nico getting drilled in this interrogation room, they finally got him to crack.
I got Nico Jenkins. Do you not realize that? I got Nico Jenkins. I got you. What do you mean you got me? I got your DNA at the murder scene. I got your DNA in the car.
Damn, GG's.
Sir. I got the weapon.
GG's.
I got Nico Jenkins. I don't need I don't care about it. I just want other people that are involved in it. What the hell happened out there? And why? I know who. I know what. I know when. I know where. That woman's husband and children. That woman's husband is grieving right now. This.
Because of you, nigga. You just fucking killed them. Of course. What's good, Junia?
Is not just some psycho killer that just wanted to go trophy. I'm documenting psychiatrically disordered. I'm documenting chemically imbalanced. This is a fact.
So this nigga still has the mental fortitude to know that he's fucking killing people for not even a cause, but to document that he's fucking fucked up. Like what, bro?
Yeah. So my point is,
We were well aware of that.
my point is this though. This family didn't deserve this.
Right.
This could have been prevented had it not been for the Nebraska Department of Corrections doing what they knew what they supposed to have did. And they never gave me an opportunity. They never gave me an opportunity for treatment because I wouldn't take the medicine.
Nico then admitted to all 4 killings, and get this, that he did it as a sacrifice to the ancient Egyptian god Apophis. He pleaded guilty to all 4 without blinking and said that he would
This nigga said a snake made him do it.
defend the kingdom of Apophis with animalistic, savage brutality. I'm scared of this dude just writing this.
Yeah,
In
nah,
May
he
of
got it.
2017, Jenkins was sentenced to death and 450 years of prison time. Oh, and fun fact, he is still alive in prison awaiting his death day.
What the
This
fuck?
next killer is so deranged
Well, he's
that
probably
he
dead
killed
now.
10 people and even had sexual encounters with a decapitated corpse. And
Oh my god, bro. Like, what the fuck? This nigga's fucking dead bodies? That he killed?
I'm talking about none other than Edmund Kemper III.
Yeah,
The
nah,
guy
whatever
who
the
makes
fuck he
every
did.
horror movie villain.
Bro, why do all these weird ass niggas have these fucking circular ass frame glasses, bruh? It's always them.
Looked like a goddamn Boy Scout. And he was born on December 18th, 1948, in Burbank, California. Kemper was a middle child in a family that seemed to have been cursed by some sort of weird gene. But first, let's talk about his parents. His mom, Claire Nell, was a real piece of work. She spent
How
more
so?
time bitching relentlessly about her husband's lame job as an electrician than actually being, you know, a decent human being. Well, maybe I wouldn't boot in the mailman if you drove a Ferrari.
Yeah, why the fuck that bitch even care, bro? Like, you hate your fucking husband job so goddamn bad. How about you get a better job than that nigga? How about you start being a breadwinner, bitch?
Edmund's dad, who was Edmund Kemper II, was a World War II vet who actually tested nuclear bombs, which is actually kind of dope. Now here's
kinda
where
crazy.
things get interesting. Kemper was a freak of nature. His ass weighed a whole 13 pounds as a freaking newborn.
Damn,
How
big
did
ass.
this woman even push this out her thing?
Fucking big
hello?
ass.
By the age of 4, he was already towering over the other kids like some sort of giant from a fairy tale. But trust me, there was nothing magical about this guy's future.
Hey, why do you make him so
Kemper
bigger
wasn't
than him? You're not
exactly the
slick.
kind of kid you'd want babysitting your pets. And by the age of 10, he was already showing off his psychopathic skills. One day, he decided to bury the family's cat alive. Dug it up later, decapitated it, and then proudly mounted its head on a spike like it was some sort of messed up trophy. Yeah, delightful.
Bro, I just tried to imagine that shit. And it's like, dude, first off, how can you even see that cat go through that and suffer? Secondly, how do you decapitate that shit and not feel sick to your fucking stomach? And then after the shit is done, how can you live with yourself after that? Like, these niggas' brains need to be studied,
Right?
dude.
And what gets crazier is this wasn't even a one-time thing. When he was 13, he killed another family cat because he thought it liked his sister more than him. I mean,
What?
listen, I'm a dog person too, but like, come on, you don't see me doing all this. And
That's
if you're the
insane.
type of person that thinks playing with dolls was kind of creepy, which it is, Kemper took the creepiness level to a whole new dimension. He'd perform these super weird-ass rituals with his sister's dolls.
Yeah,
nothing
nah, this is a nigga that you would see in a fucking horror movie, bro. You gotta stay away from this motherfucker, bro.
to look into there. While he was just casually decapitating and ripping their limbs off, no big deal. Hold on, let me take you deeper into Kemper's mind. One time when his older sister teased him about not kissing his teacher, he calmly replied, "If I kiss her, I'd have to kill her first." Like, hello? Have to kill her first?
First off, nigga, what the fuck you mean? Your sister was teasing you about not kissing your teacher. We was having sexual relations with the teacher? We just gonna skip over that shit? Okay. What the fuck?
Does that turn you on, Lil Kempy? But Kemper didn't just dish out the violence. He was also attacked. Yeah, their family was super messed up. Get this, his older sister once tried to push him in front of a train. Another time, she pushed him into the deep end of a swimming pool where he almost...
Oh, now I'm surprised his fucking sister wasn't one of the first targets to go, bruh. But that seems to be like a running narrative with all these niggas that be so fucked up in the head. Like, they be getting abused, and they just be seeking revenge at the end of the day, bro.
almost drowned. Yeah, seems like a super great family. But hey, if she pulled off killing him, at least the rest of the world wouldn't have to deal with what would come next.
Nigga
Honestly,
killed them,
Kemper
bro.
was surprisingly pretty close to his dad, so when his parents divorced in 1961, it hit him hard. He was sent to live with his mother in Montana.
Oh, I know he
move
didn't
that
like
was
that
basically
shit.
like throwing gasoline onto a fire pit.
I
His
knew he
mom,
didn't like that
Clarnell,
shit.
was a raging alcoholic.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, she'd regularly belittle him, humiliate him, and even force him to sleep in a locked basement because she was convinced that he would harm his sisters.
Yo,
Alright, to be fair,
what?
this guy probably would have. Oh, and she also made sure to mock him for his size. No, not that size, you pervs. What I'm talking about is he was already 6'4" by the age of 15.
God,
because of that, he
nigga,
was a-
put that nigga in the league, bro. Go play fucking basketball. Go play fucking football, nigga. You out here want to be a serial killer and shit. Go get a bag, nigga.
Real weirdo. Yeah, isn't that some lovely mothering? Anyways, Clarnell was so twisted that she refused to show him any affection because she was terrified it would turn him gay. Clarnell, I don't really know if that's how that works.
Yo, niggas gotta be dumb. You don't want to love your son because you think it's gonna turn him gay. That, does she know how love works? And like how... Okay, bro. She got it, gangs.
And to really twist in the knife, she would remind him that no woman on the planet would ever love him.
Yo, like, how could you say that out of your mouth knowing that you raised your kid? That's so crazy.
14, Kemper had enough and ran away from
I've
home
never
to
understood
try and
that
live
shit.
with his dad in Los Angeles. But when he got there, he found out that his dear old daddy had remarried to a new woman, Alfreda
Damn.
Weber, who had already had
Oh,
a
that nigga
son named
upgraded.
Gilbert, and didn't exactly have
Nigga
a
named
spot for his
Gilbert?
giant-ass son. So, what did the daddy do? He sent Kemper to live off with his grandparents on a ranch in Norfolk, California. Now, Kemper hated it there, describing his grandfather as senile and his grandmother as someone who was constantly emasculating him. Wait, let me get the exact quote. Was constantly emasculating me and my grandfather. Sounds like another fun-ass household,
Yeah.
am I right? Then came August 27th, 1964. The day 15-year-old Kemper decided to start his murder spree. After an
Nigga was
argument
only
with his
15,
grandmother,
that's
Kemper
crazy.
decided to storm off, grabbed a rifle that his grandfather had given him, and shot her right in the head. Her last words? "Oh, you'd better not be shooting the birds again." Well, to be fair, he wasn't shooting the birds. But yeah, I'd say
Yeah.
shooting your grandma's a tad bit worse. When his grandfather came home from grocery shopping,
Nigga got
Kemper,
him next,
he decided to shoot him too. Why?
Bro,
Because
nigga
he
got
didn't
him
want his
too,
grandpa
bro.
to be mad at him for killing his grandma. Now when you put it like that, it makes perfect sense. Completely a sane person making that decision. And after the
Yeah.
murders, Kemper called his mom, who told him to turn himself in. He did, and the court psychiatrist actually diagnosed him with paranoid schizophrenia and sent him off to Atascadero State Hospital.
Yo, these niggas be getting let off the fucking loose, bro. They be getting let off the hook so easy, bro. Nigga just killed 2 of his fucking family members. Diagnosed him with schizophrenia, bro. We'll get him back out there in the field.
Maximum security facility for mentally ill convicts. But here's the twist. While he was there, the psychiatrist at the hospital disagreed with the paranoid schizophrenia. You know, like the diagnosis. Instead, and this is so crazy, they found that instead, Kemper was actually intelligent, introspective, and diagnosed him with, wait, let me say this properly. Personality trait disturbance and passive-aggressive type. Yes, that is...
Bro, they be making bullshit up. Like, personality trait disturbance. Okay.
Personality trait disturbance and passive-aggressive type. Yes, that is seriously what medical professionals came up to after this kid killed both his grandparents.
Literally.
Basically, they thought he was messed up but not insane. And wouldn't you know it, by 1969, Kemper was released on parole.
That's
on his
ridiculous.
21st birthday. He was sent to live with his mother, who had, you know, remarried, divorced again, and was living in Aptos, California. I think I'm saying that right. Despite the obvious warning signs, the psychiatrist thought that Kemper was rehabilitated, even expunging his juvenile record. Like, he killed his goddamn grandpappies.
Literally,
he's not
bro.
normal. One report even praised him as a very well-adjusted young man. Yeah, talk about missing the red flags, man. All right, to give it
Yo, there's no way this is real.
He even attended a community college with hopes of becoming a police officer. Hey, I want to be
we can't have this nigga in the field, bro. This nigga with a gun already is something crazy, bro. Fuck no. Get that nigga gone, man.
I've already got experience in shooting people. Ah, you're in, kid. We love that. It's probably
that's
how
crazy.
Something like
that's
that
literally how I probably went
now
to.
He is 6'9", by the way. And now you're probably wondering, how's mommy? Well, Zendaya's actually doing quite fine. You wanted to hear about his mommy. Gotcha. Well, Kemper's relationship with his mother didn't improve after he got out. You see, they'd have these super vicious battles. One of their biggest fights over whether he should get his teeth cleaned. Yeah, he was a stinky boy. Eventually,
yo, what? You're arguing with your mom about if you should clean your teeth?
he moved out, but his mother would not leave him alone. Constantly calling him and dropping by unannounced.
Hey, nigga, get your teeth cleaned!
20s, he could not escape her grasp. And the toxic relationship continued to get worse and worse.
Bro, just leave the nigga
Kemper's
alone,
twisted
bro.
fantasies escalated, and between
Leave
May
the nigga
1972
alone,
and April 1973, he killed, hold on, listen closely, 8 people, including 5 college students, and these were the names and how they killed them. First up, we have Mary Ann Pesce and Anita Lucchesa. These two were just 18-year-old college students hitchhiking their way through life. Sounds fun, right? Well,
how did bro find him?
About to not be.
Bro, getting rejected or some bullshit, bro. The bitches ain't fuck with him, so he got him gone.
They were picked up by Kemper on May 7th, 1972, in Berkeley, California. Kemper, with his smooth talk and fake-ass charm, convinced them that he was harmless, and you guys know he wasn't. He drove them to a secluded area far away from safety. What should have been a simple ride turned into their worst nightmare. Kemper handcuffed Mary and locked Anita in the trunk before brutally stabbing them to death. And as if that wasn't enough, he took their bodies back to his apartment, where he then dismembered them and did just unspeakable things.
Yo, like how does a human being do something so crazy, bro? That's actually sad as fuck. And they didn't even deserve this shit either, bro. I'm just playing that shit in my head, bro. Like, there is no way you picked up 2 random people, handcuffed them, killed them, took them back to your house. They're already dead. I can't even imagine what your car probably smells like. You're bringing them up to your crib, and then you're dismembering the body, like cutting off limbs and shit. Like, nigga, what do you mean you're cutting off her head and then fucking the body after, nigga? That's crazy.
Kemper wasn't just a killer. He was a monster who took dark fantasies to a whole
yeah, I don't know.
Then there was Aiko Ku, a 15-year-old dance student who was just trying to get to her dance class on September 14th, 1972. She missed her bus and decided to hitchhike. instead.
At
thinking that she'd get
15?
to class on time.
Why are we hitchhiking at 15, bro? Just go home, my nigga.
Instead, she ended up in the car of a predator.
Just go
Kemper
home,
pulled a gun on her, strangled her unconscious, and then unalived her.
Like, why? Shorty was just trying to go to her fucking dance recital, and you just killed her. Like,
But it did not stop there. He took her body to the back of his apartment, just like the others, and treated her with the same horrifying brutality. Just like, imagine the fear and confusion.
yo, I ain't gonna lie, niggas gotta have
trusting
a kink.
stranger
Like, what do you
who
even
turned out
call
to be
this
the
shit,
last
bro?
person that she would ever see when she was alive. Next, we have Cindy Shaw, an 18-year-old student from Cabrillo College. On January 7th, 1973, she was picked up by Kemper as she walked on campus, probably thinking she could get a lift to her next class. Instead, she ended up being another...
Bro, I just don't get... Bro, how do motherfuckers just randomly get in a car with a random-ass person they never fucking met before? Like, do niggas not have home training? Have y'all niggas never learned about fucking stranger danger? Have y'all niggas never fucking watched that George Lopez episode where he's training Max to not get next to white vans and shit like that? And people that are offering candy? And this is a college student, by the way. Like, what the fuck?
victim of his sick mind. Kemper shot her, hid her body in his trunk, and then drove off to his mother's house. The fact that he brought his victims back to his mother's place says a lot about his twisted relationship.
That's crazy.
He kept her body hidden in the room overnight, like some sort of Gore-Tex trophy, before dismembering her in the bathtub. If that doesn't send chills down your spine...
And nigga, how does the mom not hear this? Well, I mean, like, granted, Shorty's dead. But, like, you'll never, like, just bark. Like, have y'all ever had y'all parents walking on y'all when y'all was doing something y'all wasn't supposed to be doing? Like, do these niggas never have these moments?
I don't know what will. Next, we have Rosalind Thrope and Alice Liu, who were two more students who crossed paths with Kemper. On February 5th, 1973, Kemper shot both of them in his car, right there in broad daylight. What's even more twisted is that he beheaded them in the car before bringing the bodies inside. Ugh, gross,
That's
all right?
nasty as
On
fuck,
April
bro.
20th, 1973, Kemper reached his breaking point. His mom came home one night from a party, and after some
W's in a
snarky comments,
hat.
all those years of pain and torture came out at once. And Kemper decided it was
Zala
time
Lee,
to
Zala
end it
liar?
once and
Freeze
for
the
all.
motherfucking follow,
He
bro.
bludgeoned her with the after some snarky comments. All those years of pain and torture came out at once. And Kemper decided it was time to end it once and for all. He bludgeoned her with a hammer, sliced her throat open, and then decapitated her. But he didn't stop there. Then, as you would do, he used her head as a damn dartboard, cut her tongue, and tried to dispose of them in a garbage disposal. When the garbage disposal spit the parts back out, he thought it was fitting, given how much she bitched and screamed at him over the years. I know, this guy's...
That's
After having her body in the
crazy!
closet, he invited her best friend over, Sarah Sally Taylor Howard. And
Yo, that nigga said, fuck you, mom, and fuck your best friend.
killed her too. And then left a note for the police. The note read, hold on, let me get the exact quote. No need for her to suffer at the hands of the horrible, murderous butcher. Weirdo. Kemper
Yo,
drove
what
off to
the
Pueblo,
fuck?
Colorado, thinking the police were hot on his trail. But when he didn't hear any news about the cops himself and confessed, like,
All right,
I wonder
hold
what
up.
the call went like. Guys, I liked you. I killed my mom and you don't even try to get me? At first, obviously they didn't believe him because who would call about that? But after a few more calls, they finally took him serious. When they showed up, he was waiting for them, ready to be taken into custody. At his
That's
trial,
crazy.
Kemper tried to plead insanity, claiming that two beings inhibited in his body took over when the killer was there. The killer was apparently not him. And the sensation was
Yeah, nah, this nigga thought he could get away from it twice, bro. Nah,
out apparently. But the jury wasn't buying it from this ham sandwich, and
Bro,
they
he
found
snitched
him
on
to be
himself, man.
perfectly sane and then charged him with 8 counts. Yeah, 8 counts of first-degree murder on all counts, sentencing him
nigga.
to 8 concurrent life sentences in prison. And with that box,
I ain't gonna lie,
Kemper
just give him fucking death at that point. 8 concurrent life sentences, just kill the nigga. Like, you might as well just put him out of his suffering.
been in prison since 1973. And what's really shocking about this whole thing is he's actually a model prisoner. He even narrated audiobooks for visually impaired and claims to have found peace with himself through God. But whoa.
Yeah, buddy, you're not seeing the heaven gates. How do I tell you, nigga? Yeah. Kiss that dream goodbye.
Don't make any mistake, Kemper is still the same guy who decapitated his mother and then used her head as target practice. Next, we have Timothy McVeigh, a guy who hurt
Slim
680
Shady.
people just because he didn't want to pay his taxes.
How many?
Who hurt
680?
680 people just because he didn't want to pay his taxes.
What the fuck?
Well, kind of. Well, let's just get right into it. Anyways, Timothy McVeigh was born on April 23rd, 1968 in Lockport, New York. He was the middle child, and honestly, middle child syndrome doesn't even begin to cover what happened here. His parents split when he was around like 10, and after that, he lived with his dad. Trust me, this will all become relevant.
Oh, niggas valid. They got
In
Getty images of them and
1988, McVeigh
shit.
joined the U.S. Army, where he was actually pretty good at his job. He was a top scoring gunner and even got promoted to sergeant.
Oh, this
But
nigga was
spoiler
Captain
alert,
America.
He didn't like the government for too long. He made friends with Terry Nichols, a guy.
Oh my god, bro. Another nigga with these fucking glasses, bro. How much you wanna bet he persuaded him into being a fucking weird ass nigga, bro? It's always these fucking round ass
who
frames,
shares love
bro.
for guns and killing people. These two would later team up to do some pretty horrific stuff.
Wait! Nix, it was them? I remember us watching a video about that shit.
In the Gulf War and did his job pretty well, but the experience being over there left him broken. He saw the horrors of war up close and personal, which only fueled his growing hatred for the government. He
This
had
sounds
some
crazy.
issues in the army, like getting reprimanded for buying a white power t-shirt at a KKK rally. Yeah, not exactly a shining
What the
moment, we'll say.
fuck?
After the war, McVeigh tried to join the special forces, but eventually dropped out. He then left the army and started ranting about taxes, government outreach, and people not subscribing to Boxset or something. He even wrote letters
Bro,
to
this nigga with the
newspapers
self-promo
complaining
and
about
shit,
the
bro.
government taking his hard-earned money. Yeah, he was that guy. McVeigh's anger towards the government reached a boiling point with the events at Ruby Ridge and the Waco siege. So let's actually get into these events, and
That's fucking crazy.
I guess we'll start off with Ruby Ridge. That happened in 1992. This guy named Randy Weaver, living off the grid with his family in the mountains of Idaho. Yeah.
Well, shit, that nigga's not too off the grid. This nigga's in fucking newspapers and shit.
haven't heard of Idaho either, don't worry about it. Now, Weaver wasn't exactly
Oh, he got
a
aura.
suburban dad. He was a guy who always felt like he had to survive, someone who believed the government was up to no good at all times. And he wasn't shy about his anti-government views. The feds actually got interested in Weaver because he sold a couple of sawed-off shotguns to an undercover ATF agent. Yeah, that's a big no-no in the no-no square. But instead of just showing up with the warrant and having a nice, calm chat, the situation escalated into an 11-day standoff
Damn.
that turned into a nightmare. The U.S. Marshals went to scope out the property and things went south pretty fast. Shots were fired and in the chaos...
Yo, nah, this nigga's in a movie.
Sammy and a U.S. Marshal...
Yo, 1v fucking
As if
30 in
that
this
wasn't bad
bitch.
enough, the next day, an FBI sniper took a shot at Randy Weaver, but instead, get this, hit his wife, Vicky, who was holding their infant daughter at the time.
Yo! Chris Kyle who, nigga? Yo.
She instantly died. The standoff eventually ended, but not before the Weaver family was destroyed and the public was left asking the government, hey, what's going on, guys? But
That's
it gets worse
insane,
with the
bro.
government. Let's fast forward to 1993.
Sawed-off
And
guns are illegal, by the way. Why you got that Arkham Joker hairline?
we've got
That's
the
just
Waco
crazy.
siege. Oh, this one's a doozy. David Koresh was the leader of a religious group called the Branch Davidians. I think I'm saying Davidians, right? God, I gotta be dyslexic. Koresh wasn't just preaching peace and love and unity.
Why look, it's kinda got
he was
aura in this-
stockpiling
in this
weapons
shit.
and preaching the apocalypse. From his compound outside of Waco, Texas, the ATF heard about the
Yo, I used to live near there, bruh. That's so crazy.
whole guns and God situation.
That's crazy.
And decided it was time to step in.
I was
and
like
if
30
they
minutes
were
away from
lucky,
that hoe.
Maybe they would get to shoot a dog or two. Just kidding. But the raid did not go as planned. Gunfire erupted, and 4 ATF agents and 6 Branch Davidians were killed in the shootout. Instead of just backing off, the feds dug in for a 51-day siege, trying to get Koresh and his followers to surrender. After 51 whole-ass days, the FBI decided to end the standoff by simply launching a tear gas assault on the compound. What followed was nothing short of just horrifying. A fire just completely broke out from the gas being flammable, and yeah, good job, guys. The entire compound was up in flames. 76 people, including Koresh and a bunch of little kids, died in the flames. Waco wasn't just a tragedy. It was a freaking PR disaster for the government. The images of the burning compound and the remains of the Branch Davidians made it clear that the government was out to crush anyone who didn't toe the line. Sounds like shame, right? Well, when McVeigh decided to strike back, he wasn't messing around. He started selling survivor gear and copies of the Turner Diaries. Me too. What are the Turner Diaries? I was wondering that as well. A book that's basically the Bible for people who hate the government. He also began experimenting with explosives. Sounds fun. You know, just your average Joe type of activity. And he even considered assassinating government officials, but decided that blowing up a federal building would send a louder message. Literally.
What the fuck?
On April 19th, 1995, McVeigh parked a rented Ryder truck filled with 5,000 pounds of explosives in front of the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City.
That's fucking
He got out of the
crazy.
truck, covered his face with a ball cap, and walked away. Tick, tick, tick. 9:02 a.m. Kaboom! The bomb went off, killing 160 people, including 19 children, and injuring over 680 others. The explosion destroyed 1/3 of the building and was the worst terrorist attack on American soil before 9/11. Just a couple hours after the bombing, McVeigh was pulled over for driving without a license plate. Okay.
Like, bro, imagine that's how you get fucking caught. Like, what, bro?
Things to get caught for. License plate? Dude. Anyways, he was arrested for carrying an illegal firearm, but little did the cops know. They had just caught the most wanted in America. It wasn't until 3 days later that McVeigh was identified as the bomber and linked to the truck used in the attack. McVeigh claimed that he didn't know that there was a daycare center in the building, but his co-conspirator,
as if that was gonna fucking save him from the life sentence that he's about to get. What the fuck?
Nichols, said that they both knew and didn't care. So take that for what it's worth. Or what did the white boxes usually say? With a grain of salt? After the bombing, McVeigh was pretty unapologetic. Hell off. In interviews, he compared the bombing to U.S. military actions overseas, saying that people die every day, so what's the big deal? Yeah, not exactly the kind of...
Yeah, crazy response, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you.
McVeigh was indicted on 11 federal counts, including conspiracy to use a weapon of mass destruction and the murder of 8 federal officials.
Conspiracy shit, he fucking did it, nigga.
The was moved to Denver because, surprise, surprise,
yo, Adam West.
Oklahoma City wasn't the best place to find an unbiased jury. On June 2nd, 1997, McVeigh was found guilty on all accounts and sentenced to death.
Bro.
The jury didn't buy his necessity defense that argued the bombing was a justifiable response to the government's actions at Waco. Instead, they recommended the death penalty, which was exactly what McVeigh wanted. He saw his execution as state-assisted suicide. McVeigh was executed.
Yo, what's up with these niggas and trying to feel like the main character, bro? How this dude even get 5 pounds of TNT, bro? I don't understand how niggas be getting half the shit they be getting, bro. There's a lot of shit that be going on behind the scenes that is just so illegal, bro. Cause I feel like even having TNT, nigga, you should be specialized in something to even have that bitch, bro. Like, what the fuck?
On June 11th, 2001. What was his last meal? Well, it was 2 pints of mint chocolate chip ice cream. Because if you're gonna go out, you might as well go out with your favorite dessert. And if you want to hear about more ruthless killers, check out this video right here, where I talk about deadly hitmen who could kill you today.
Man, them niggas can't kill shit, nigga. Look at me. Look at me. I'm fucking him. But that was a W video, though. I ain't gonna lie. W video.